This is another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. I'm Joe Connor.
I'm JT Harker.
And today we have another phenomenal guest. This guy is he left, but he'll be back. This guy is
this guy's couch is dope, though. For real,
dope. The bass on his couch is dope. So if you're watching, it's very obvious that he's a bass player. He's also just a hilarious person. He's a great person, a hilarious person. He comes from a great family. I know his brother. His brother is like a brother to me. He has worked with a bunch of your favorite artists all across the board, from Tasha Cobbs to Big Bang to Brandy, Sierra, Machine Gun Kelly, Nick Jonas, Miguel, Mac Miller, LeAnn Rimes. If you listen to him, he's probably played with them or recorded with them.
LeAnn Rimes was the one that was not like the other in that list you just said.
Yeah, and that's talk about versatility. We all about that versatility in this life. Okay. His name is Joe Cleveland. What's up, bro? Welcome to the show.
How y'all doing? How did you remember Tasha Cobbs?
Bro, because when I worked for Capitol Records, you
were at that.
I was there. I was working. I used to work on the 10th floor when I just started doing A&R, but I was also doing like social media marketing and stuff like that for the label that I still do A&R for. I was like, this is when I first kind of got to LA, and you were in the basement or something, in the Capitol Studios. You guys were cutting that record, and then I saw you one day, we were going and passing or something. I don't think I was doing something. And then I saw you post about something on the ground. I'm like, oh yeah, they're down. They're cutting a Tasha record. And that was you.
Yeah, that was this whole music video series thing that she did for when I put a praise on it was the whole thing.
Yeah,
that was dope though. It was killing.
Yeah, I mean the record was amazing. But yeah, that's amazing. So what we always like to jump in first and find out what your new normal is, right? Because us as artists and musicians, 2020 and early into 2021 looks very different for most of us than it did, a year and a half ago. So what does your new normal look like right now?
Well, for starters, looks like this.
Yeah.
We kind of, so we don't wear down the couch, we keep this little thing here. So when I do this move,
yeah.
Just do
there it is. You can cuddle with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the new normal. Okay. I get up every morning now, for the past couple months, because obviously we was all.
Is that a left-handed bass?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, lefties, man. Lefties rule the world. People don't know, but they do.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But no, it's been. We started obviously doing all the FaceTime parties, and Muggs was just going a little, too hard. I'll speak for myself to start out. And eventually, after what was it? So this started in March. I was in Belgium actually when they set the travel ban. So I had to
really?
Yeah, it sucked. So since then, it was them first 4 months, Muggs is just partying and hanging with everybody and just trying to, sneak around the safety guidelines, all that.
Yeah.
And eventually I just jumped into the gym cycle heavy, changed up my schedule up at 4:30, between 4:30 and 5:30 every day.
Sheesh.
Yeah. We're going to bed early with a bedtime.
Yeah.
And then that's just leaving me a lot of room to get more stuff done if I want to, and then chill and you can get a nap in. I just have to change it up to keep me sane because we're still in this economic state. I'm I can't get by doing the same thing. So
right.
It's cool. Anybody can complain, I'm sure, but doesn't do nothing.
Yeah, because we all kind of thought that this was going to be a small little week long. I know JT said what did you say last week? He was planning the move and he thought, what if this thing is 3 months? Maybe I shouldn't move right now.
I was looking at these nice guest houses, these big old mansion. I was like, man, I'm ready to upgrade my life. Yeah. And I was like, man, what if this takes what if COVID lasts 3 months?
Yeah.
I should be ready. What if it lasts 5 months?
Yeah.
Insane. But what if it does? I gotta, if I'm in this lease and stuff. So I moved in the middle of nowhere, and I'm really glad I did because I would be completely broke and probably would have shot myself.
Yes, we all kind of thought this thing was gonna be way shorter than it was. So
Dude,
you
Joe,
also,
we
yeah,
started this thing. I don't know if we actually had our official episode, but we tried to do an episode. This is now, it was March.
yeah,
So
you're
we're
right.
almost a year away from
How
this
about that?
show.
From the
From this
show, yeah,
show,
from the
Joe.
anniversary, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
have all 43 YouTube subscribers to prove it.
yeah, yeah. So you also, Joe, you also went through you were talking about you changed up your schedule and kind of incorporated the gym game heavy.
Yeah.
You also went through like a big weight loss type situation, didn't you?
Yeah, like yeah, we could shoot now twice at this point. But you know, living in Boston, just to
Yeah.
make it long story short, what do? We eat
Super
burgers,
late.
chowder,
Yeah.
got beer and Jameson. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. And when I was like, by the time I was like 23, like 23, 24, it was like quiet as kept. Obviously, you don't talk about this stuff, but I went to the doctor, dog, and I was like the usual, just like a little bit of sweat on the neck, whatever. And I was like pushing for high cholesterol, high blood pressure and stuff. You on the road, and we get our bodies into robot mode to where we could just handle that. But
Yeah.
eventually it was crazy. So I lost like, I remember I was pushing when I first came to LA. Like by 2016, I was pushing like 225, 230.
Wow. And it's crazy. Like now I can't remember it, but I remember going somewhere with your brother and seeing you at one of the studios that we had went to. And I hadn't seen you in a while, maybe since Boston. And I'm like, yo, this boy look way different. Like, what's I don't know. And you was slimmed down and cut up. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened to Joe? Like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that confused me because I was like, how come nobody told me I was chunky over here?
How about that?
But no, that was it. And now we in the gym, so I didn't gain like back 20 pounds, but in healthy, so we good.
Yeah, that's the thing that we as musicians definitely it's definitely to get a hold. I feel like our generation has been much better on it, like getting a hold of that road life, you know what I mean? On the health side, getting a handle on it much better. I feel like our generation is doing a better job of it. Because I went through a similar situation where like I saw a picture of myself that my fiance posted, and my face looked like it was swollen, and I was like, I don't like that. And so I literally just like started shedding and cutting. I dropped like 20 pounds in like 2 weeks. But sometimes it takes for you to see something, and then you thinking like, why didn't somebody tell me that I was like a donut away?
Man, Joe, you know what picture I see that on a regular basis makes me go like, and for some reason it's this picture. There's a bunch of pictures from that time.
Yeah.
But maybe they're good pictures, which is probably why I still have them, because they're good pictures. But there's that one, because we don't have a lot of pics from Stagecoach. Right.
Yeah.
And it still to this day drives me crazy that we don't have more video and photos from Stagecoach. But there's one of me, and I'm just kind of like doing this to the crowd. And I'm like, wow, I was 185.
Yeah.
And I didn't know until I hit the gym, hit the scale right after that 185. Every time I see that fucking picture, I'm like, biggest show of my life.
Yeah.
That's what I look like right there. That's what I look like.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the time. So, okay. It's a lot going on in the sports world. Let's get into it. Super Bowl weekend just happened. And I don't know what yell that. I don't know why JT just let up the yell, because the Super Bowl was the opposite of that type of excitement. It was so flat and such a disappointing of a game.
The game was very exciting. The game was very exciting.
The game was the opposite of exciting.
The halftime was disturbing. And
that's another.
But I love the game aspect, and I tried to mute out everything else that happened.
The game was
exciting.
31-9. It was like one of the biggest disappointments, because I think everybody thought that, you know, regardless of who you pick to win, I don't know anybody who was thinking it was going to be a blowout or thinking the game was going to be
I thought it'd be
unwatchable.
Yeah, I thought it would either be low scoring close or high scoring close.
What'd you say, Joe?
No, it was the same thing as the Broncos a few years ago. It was just
it
was nothing to watch.
Yeah,
it ended up just sitting there.
It was nothing to watch. Almost by halftime. Almost
pure
by
dominance.
halftime, it was
pure dominance by Thomas Edward Patrick Brady.
Now this,
by the way,
that's not where the dominance was. Let's talk about that.
Oh no, it's pure dominance. He put up 31. All the NFL records he's got, all the Super Bowl records. I didn't even realize he had. If he wasn't always white as fuck already, he has the record for the most first names in his name: Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Like, how many first names are we gonna give this man? Junior.
Okay, so in terms of dominance, Tom Brady had a cool game. He threw for 200 yards and had a passer rating of 125.
Scored 31 points, Joe. He scored 31 points, Joe.
The dominant thing was
scoreboard.
Was not Tom Brady, and it was not the Buccaneers offense. It was the Buccaneers defense.
It was their defense.
And it was excellent.
It was their O-line, which was way better than clearly the Chiefs, which was
oh my God. I mean,
they looked like the Seahawks O-line out of nowhere at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was a dominant performance and I think that was the shocking part that unfortunately will be overshadowed because of Tom Brady just being Tom Brady. The real MVP of the Super Bowl was the entire Bucs defense. Maybe give it to Todd Bowles if you can do that.
You can't do that. You have to give it to the GOAT. No. That's GOAT status.
To hold
that's what you
the
do.
Chiefs, the most potent offense in the league this year, to 9 points, to hold them without a touchdown. They sacked first of all, I saw a stat about Patrick Mahomes that said he ran a total of 490 something yards.
Yeah, exactly.
Just running because of hurries and before he got sacked. So they had him run for 500, almost 500 yards, just running for his life.
Yep.
Like, that's insane. That's insane. You know what I mean? And so I didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I heard no one in any other.
It's crazy because they had a strong defense from the get-go. But it wasn't like that. The whole year, everyone thought it was like they have a good defense. And we talked about them all year long. We talked about all year long. They have a good defense. Didn't show up against the Saints both times. Didn't show up against a couple other teams. Yeah. But, push comes to shove in the playoffs, and they're ready for Drew Brees and the Saints, who by most were expected to come out of the NFC. Then Aaron Rodgers, who was then expected to come out of the NFC.
And they showed up in that game, too. They showed up in that Green Bay game, which was surprising me.
Showing up. It's so, and good for Tom. Have an actual defense that'll show up now, because he hasn't had that for like 10 years.
That's very true.
Yeah. I think the defense was clearly the story of the game. But it was just a flat Super Bowl to me. The biggest controversy after the game seemed to be the Weeknd and his halftime show. And my whole timeline is going back and forth about the Weeknd and the halftime show. Man. And I don't get why I don't get, this is the question I want to throw out there, like completely unrelated and random, but what is I don't understand why people get so upset when people don't like a certain artist or their performance or something like that.
The problem is the bar gets set very high by Bruno Mars, Beyonce, and artists that are so incredible that and I love The Weeknd. I'm a big fan of his music, but the performance aspect is something that you're not necessarily, you don't need all the time these days. You don't have to be a great performer. And I think The Weeknd is an okay performer, but then you see Adam Levine, who I thought looked so awkward and uncomfortable when he did it. What was it, last year or the year before? Mm-hmm. And then you got The Weeknd, and then you got, Lady Gaga's great, and you got some other, and so part of it is just the bar being set. But I don't know. People just want to see something amazing, right?
I was in the camp of, okay, first, how did you feel about the halftime show, Joe?
Okay.
Did you feel like
he's trying to tread lightly? He's trying to tread lightly, which I am as well.
Did it ever cross your mind?
Lightly a little bit more than I.
Did it ever cross your mind once? Be honest, that Thriller had been done more than once before, and we're seeing it again? Because it did me.
My thing is, with all the other people that y'all named, as far as a Super Bowl like halftime show, like even for Prince, and a lot of people could say like that was him by himself. But it wasn't. You had a band on stage. Yeah. You had other energy to feed off of. Other people, you at least have like dancers on stage. You have that band aspect. You have all of this. Nowadays, and this is when it sucks, because at the end of the day, you just got people being diplomatic and they don't want to say that something was trash.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to not offend somebody that works for somebody.
Yeah.
Thing is, they're just working for them, and they also didn't come up with it. That's that art vision, and that's that person's job to execute their vision. And now it's a trend for these new artists to be like, okay, so and so did a great job with all these people on stage. How much can I do by myself?
Yeah.
Right. And then you look goofy.
Yeah. Right.
And then you have a whole bunch of zombies on the field out of nowhere. Like,
right.
I just thought it's like this whole thing now is like a de-swinging contest for some artists. So it just didn't even appeal to me. It wasn't entertaining, but it wasn't upsetting. It was just like, that's the trend.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, I mean, I knew anybody who's seen the Weeknd live knew that it's not much to expect. And I'm not talking about, we know his band is phenomenal. But
his live concerts are amazing.
It's like his voice, his vocally, he's never, like, the few times that I've seen him live, I got a lot of sharp and flat notes. I got a lot. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's his
so
thing.
It wasn't the show. It wasn't the music. Right. You know what I'm saying? The show itself was great. But it's him vocally live that was off. So I didn't expect much from him anyway, especially when you talk about, you know, somebody said, somebody mentioned the Prince halftime show, and, you know, the one with Bruno and Coldplay and Beyonce. It's like, I didn't expect that at all.
Right.
Right.
He also paid millions of dollars to perform.
It was $7 million, right?
$7 million. He spent $7 million.
$7 million to perform at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Incredible. And the other thing is, I don't ever, for the most part, I don't ever blame the artist for their Super Bowl thing either, because they've got, I mean, the label, everybody's in their ear about what they need to do for the Super Bowl performance, right? And they want to do the best job they can. And most of the time, a lot of these guys, it's always the opportunity of a lifetime. If you haven't done it before, if you're not already, you know, you're a big star, but this is making you a bigger star. That's why it's worth paying money. That's why it's worth doing it for free in the past, right? So I usually just feel bad for him. Like, I felt bad for Adam Levine, even though every single woman in the country, in the world, took their panties off when he took his shirt off at the Super Bowl. But, like, he looked nervous, and you're going to be nervous doing the Super Bowl. And I just always feel bad for him. Like, damn, this sucks. Because I know, me being a performer, I look back at some video of myself and go, God, that was awful. And when you do it on national television, that just it sucks. And it's not all your fault.
The other thing is, I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's okay for the NFL to do this thing where the artists are footing these bills and they're not getting paid. Like, I think that's a bigger issue that we got to talk about as a community. Because if we didn't stand up, if artists didn't stand up and say no, because this thing just changed. It just happened like a couple years ago. And so, and I feel like we should have, and I know it's a small, you know, the pool of Super Bowl performers are a very small little group, 1% of artists at the top of the bubble.
The Weeknd, Bruno Mars, Beyonce.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's a small club.
Right. But I feel like they failed in standing up to, you know, another industry, you know what I'm saying, to say, like, no, you're going to respect our craft. You're going to pay us for what we do, because y'all pay everybody else. Right. Everybody else is getting paid. You know what I mean? But it's because, getting paid big it's because money.
It's because somebody will do it, and it is worth it. It is worth it. So it's a matter of it's
just a principle thing. Like, it, you know, it's just it's worth it to play, you know, the halftime show at the All-Star game, but they're also getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, the NBA's paying them. You know what I mean?
What's the premise though? Like, that the exposure's worth it. Is that what it's supposed? That's why people do it?
They felt like yes. Yeah.
I mean, because it's one of the biggest platforms on earth. You know, it is. So it's one of those. It's like, I at the end of the day, I wish it was in my normal budget to be like, I got this to pay for all of this production, so I can present my vision to the biggest platform as far as publicity. You know, One of those things, like, it's levels to it. If you can tap into it, go ahead.
Yeah. One of the other things that was being thrown around based around the Super Bowl win and Tom Brady is the comparison to Jordan, which we talked about last week ad nauseum. The other conversation was winning the Super Bowl, stacking Super Bowl rings versus stacking NBA championship rings, right? Which one is harder? Which path has been more difficult? Now, this is going to be another situation where stop the presses and record it, because I'm about to cape for Michael Jordan once again. This is 2 weeks in a row, so I don't know what's happening. But somebody made the comment that
I'm quitting the show after that. I'm a happy man. I can die happy now. 2 weeks in a row? You're back in Michael Jordan?
This is 2 weeks in a row. Somebody made the comment that what Brady has done is the hardest thing in sports. No one's ever gonna catch it. No one's ever gonna do it again. In comparison to Jordan, I disagree. I think in not only because of the things that I talked about last week with there being a whole nother side of the ball in his sport. Again, it's not his fault, but again, his defense held the most potent offense to 9 points, right? So you can throw a dart and hit an NFL quarterback that can get you 10 points in that game and win that Super Bowl. If you say, hey, Matthew Stafford, come in, we just need 10 points. You know what I mean? So not only did I disagree because of that factor, but I disagree because in the NBA Finals, you got to beat a team 4 times. These are not one-off games. This isn't the NCAA tournament. You got to beat somebody 4 times in order to win a championship and going throughout the playoffs. You're playing series. You're not playing series in the NFL, right? So any given Sunday thing is like legit. Anything can happen. Anybody can be beat. It's not to take away from the feat of winning a Super Bowl, but to me, it doesn't. To me, it's not harder or as hard of winning an NBA championship. But what's y'all take on that?
Yeah, it's an interesting comparison. And first of all, when we address Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, we can use any one of his many nicknames like TB12.
Oh my God.
Tom Terrific. We can call him Touchdown Tom. We can call him Goat. That's capital GOAT, Goat.
To the point.
We could call him the Pharaoh. We can call him Comeback Kid, or as you should call him, Joe Connor, Sir. You can just call him Sir because he's 65 years old.
I call him Edward.
But this is the thing. I generally agree with you. Like it's you got to win more games to win an NBA series, right? We always say, well, this is a 1-game series. All you got to do is win one, right? So I agree. But then I think back, and I'm not going obviously through all the Super Bowls right now. But if he had another 3, 4, 5 chances at that New York Giants team that beat them when they went undefeated during the regular season and through the playoffs, he'd probably have another ring. Maybe if they did that in some of the other Super Bowls, he wouldn't have some of the other rings. But this is the thing. Michael Jordan's got 6 rings. That's considered a lot, especially for a great player, right? A guy that's the guy on the team. I mean, the only other guy that's got anywhere near that as far as great players, you got Kobe with 5, LeBron's got 4, obviously Russell with 10. There aren't a lot of, Magic and Bird are up there. You don't have a lot of guys. Generally, winning Super Bowls as the guy is harder. That's why some of the greatest, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers has 1, Peyton had 2, and the last one he was falling apart, didn't look nearly as good as Brady does now at this age. So when you look at it, and when people will look at it in hindsight, they'll go, man, winning a Super Bowl is the hardest thing to do in sports, statistically, by the numbers. When you watch how many people win it, it's the hardest thing to do. So I get what you're saying, but man, like this is why he's considered the GOAT. It's the hardest thing to do. Now, on the flip side, he doesn't play defense, right? So, and there's 11 guys on a football field that is, and
he's won Super Bowls where, i.e., this past weekend, where his defense won him the game. You know what I'm saying? This isn't last week wasn't the first time.
His defense was phenomenal, but at the same time, putting up 31 against a top 10 defense is also good. So he did more than enough to win.
I'm just saying he has a Super Bowl where he won 13-3. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying this. I'm talking about in a vacuum. He's won Super Bowls. Not all of his rings were just because he was just this amazing juggernaut as a quarterback. Some of the Super Bowls that he owes, they're half the ring to the defensive side too.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I mean, this is, man, Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls. And I picked him to win every game they played this year. I did not pick him to go to the Super Bowl, but every game I was like, I'm going with the Bucks, because we had the thing about, never bet against Tom Brady. And to me, it's not that he never loses, obviously. It's just that if I were to bet against him, I would feel uneasy about it, because it's like, you just don't know. And a lot of it's not physically what he can do. Obviously, it's up here, which at the quarterback position, that may be the most important. It may be more important at that position than any other position in sports, is what's going on up here, right? And I just think he's elite.
So you think harder is NFL? JT?
By the numbers, it's harder to win Super Bowls than NBA championships.
Okay, good.
But by the numbers.
Go ahead, Joe.
By the numbers. It's definitely the mental thing, but I'm torn because it's like I'm such a football head because that's what I grew up doing as well. It's like, yeah, football is win or go home. You know what I'm saying? You show up. If you don't show up, you're out of there.
Right.
But then at the same time, let's say you keep showing up, but then the other team keeps fighting back. Now your body has to go through how many 7-game series possibly?
How about that? It's grueling. I mean, that is a series. Yeah.
And I don't want to say which one is harder for sure, but
you have to because that's the prompt.
No. We're talking about Michael Jordan, Tom Brady. I'll say even with 6 rings and 7 rings, Michael Jordan has gotten tackled more times than Tom Brady has.
Right. No, you're right.
As soon as and that's just the era that he came through playing basketball.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, like, that's why Tom Brady got all these weapons that he had. He has an amazing offensive line because we know psychologically up here that old man snaps the moment he gets touched.
Yeah.
All he needs to do is not get touched. Defense does win games. I sit with that, So, I mean, as far as the physicality, beating up your body, and that's why the man took a break and came back. Everybody has their pieces, and not just being the guy, because then we know how much Paxson and Kurt and all these key guys that made a lot of buzzer beaters when Jordan didn't in like little games. Everybody got their guys.
There are a couple buzzer beaters, but we'll go with a lot. We'll go with a lot of buzzer beaters.
Look.
There are a couple key ones.
There are a couple key ones that were not from Jordan, but
for sure.
Why did Tom Brady demand that Gronk comes back? Like,
right.
Like,
man.
Yeah, I think when you talk about playing a series, I mean, you can see the toll that it takes mentally on a basketball player. You can see the toll that it takes on your body, especially when you just got finished playing a 82 game season in a regular year without a pandemic. You just got finished playing an 82 season game, and then you've done these other series depending on how long that they've gone. I can't remember who it was, but somebody had like a run. It might have been LeBron where they went like 5 games, 6 games, 7 games, or 7 games, 7 games in back-to-back series. Like that's grueling. Like that takes a toll on your body. If you go to the YMCA and you play 3 games back-to-back, you like, fuck this, I'm done. Somebody else going. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now imagine you're playing a 7-game series and it's a championship on the line. So you have that aspect of it. To me, listen, it's just it's the NFL, it's the NBA championship. It's harder.
I'm in good shape right now, like pretty good shape for where I've been. And I went for a jog the other day, and I lasted 10 minutes. Yeah. And my hip, my knee, my other knee, then my ankle, then my left foot, then my neck. My neck. I was jogging, and my neck started hurting. That doesn't even make fucking sense, Joe.
It doesn't.
Yeah. So it's tough.
To me, it's tough. To me, the series, any when you talk about the World Series and you talk about NBA Finals, to me, having to take a team out 4 times, I don't think it gets much harder than that. With all respect to the NFL and the Super Bowl, which we know is tough to do, but I just think the series thing is hard.
My ear was sore the next day after the job. My right ear. It was like this middle area of my I had to ice it like peas, like frozen peas.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are like, "What's wrong with it?" I went for a jog yesterday. I'm hurting.
That's age. That's that age.
Yeah.
You need to do the TB12.
I do. I need CBD oil on that.
That too. The NFL awards happened as well this past weekend. A couple of the major ones was Aaron Rodgers got MVP as expected. Kevin Stefanski got Coach of the Year. Alex Smith got comeback player of the year. Derrick Henry offensive player of the year. Aaron Donald defensive player of the year. Justin Herbert rookie of the year. Chase Young defensive rookie of the year. Did any of the awards make you kind of upset? They seem like everything seemed. I didn't have an issue with any of the awards to me.
Everything you just said, I would put my kids on every single one of those picks. So those were the right picks.
I'm with them
by the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like my kids very much, but I would put my kids on those picks for sure.
Yeah. I felt like there was pretty good picks. What you think, Joe?
That was perfect, especially Aaron Donald, because I'm an Aaron Donald fan.
Yeah, I saw some people saying that Justin Jefferson should have been offensive rookie of the year, which that wouldn't have made me upset phenomenal. Either. He was great. So he also was deserving. And I get how everybody is, as far as the offensive awards, always leans towards the quarterback, it seems like. So I understand people feeling like Justin Jefferson got robbed, but then again, it's like you can't really say he got robbed because Justin Herbert also deserved it to me. So
Justin Herbert by statistics, not wins, was an MVP candidate. Like he was.
He was in the conversation,
and he was my fantasy quarterback most of the season. He was unreal. I'd watch him every week. Like, this guy's a rookie. This is insane. Including his first game when he didn't know he was going to play until 2 minutes before he was out there. Right?
Yeah,
he's insane.
Yeah. Okay, so should the NFL retire number 12?
Yes.
I say yeah.
Oh, why?
I like that.
I mean, because like being born from Chicago, I will always have this little small thing about seeing LeBron James wear that damn number.
It's true.
I love LeBron. I have nothing. Good point. I have nothing bad to say about him. I'm just saying that's why I think he has every right for him to get that number retired for the league. Like,
so my question is, what's the precedent for that? Like, do we have not when there's, because we know certain teams will retire certain numbers, because I think that's the thing with the Jordan thing, right? Like, we haven't really seen whole leagues take numbers out of circulation, right? Yeah. So the Jordan thing, there really just wasn't a precedent for it. I think there was nothing against Jordan or anything. The NBA obviously loves Jordan and what he did for the game. I think it's just like, what's the precedent for that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the precedent would be, and I kind of joke. I mean, I think realistically, if you were to retire someone's number like that, it would be for doing something beyond just what you do on the field, right? Like I think it would have to be for that. But I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I think that the thing is, if you look at baseball and you take like a guy like Hank Aaron, who broke the home run record, or even Babe Ruth, who's just that iconic guy that everybody, Babe Ruth. Right. Mm-hmm. I think there's one guy in every sport that just had a bigger impact than everybody else. If you still have a candy bar named after you, maybe you should retire his number in baseball.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan literally brought the league to heights that it never had even dreamed of being. After 8-9 years before that, when Larry Bird and Magic came in, the league was maybe going bankrupt. Like, people don't know that the NBA might go bankrupt, and Larry and Magic came in and just brought it to levels that they'd never even dreamed about before. Mm-hmm. And, Tom Brady, if there's a guy in the NFL that has done that, it is Tom Brady. And part of that is the wins, and it's not all him. He was with a great organization, but he's got the rings, he's got the brand, right? He's got the influence. He's a good dude. Yeah. And so that would be the reasons, but
I see what you mean. It's like more than just because, you have to have that much of an impact on the game, but then it's like you're having a cultural impact as well. Mm-hmm. How many kids is normally just wearing your jerseys? How many kids have you seen with a Tom Brady jersey on? How many kids have you seen with Michael Jordan?
Right.
Even way after he left the league, and little kids know who Jordan is. Like,
right.
Yeah, true. Definitely. But that's why I'm like, Tom, I mean, who else do they talk about? Like,
yeah. And it's also some of those guys that people talk about, like David Beckham. I've watched all of 3 soccer matches in my entire life. Mm-hmm. And one of them is when I went to the World Cup with my dad. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the only reason I watched it. Like, and David Beckham, I know who he is. You know what I mean? Because he kind of crossed. But again, I think I would feel better about it if it was somebody that, just did something. Muhammad Ali's a fighter, but like, if they wore numbers, that's a number I'd be like, okay, you got to retire it. As a matter of fact, if boxers wore numbers and they didn't retire his jersey number, I'd be upset about it. But that's because he did so much off out of the ring, So
I think for this situation, I think it might open Pandora's box to people going like, okay, like, yeah, Tom Brady was a great quarterback, but we've also had plenty of other great quarterbacks. So people are going to be like, what about Terry Bradshaw? What about Jerry Rice? What about Joe Montana? What about people who also did great things for the game? So I can understand them not doing something like that, because it's just a slippery slope to me. With Jordan, it's a little different because Jordan, I think, was such a giant
yeah.
for just
he has the best case. He has the best case.
He has the best case. Especially because he was there was great players before Jordan, but I think Jordan was the first of his kind as far as these global superstars for the sport, right? Jordan was the first one, and now you have LeBron and you had Kobe. So I think that Jordan can make a case for that, but it's just a slippery slope for me.
I'll tell you a number now that we've kind of opened this box up that I wouldn't be mad at in the NBA now if they're not going to do Jordan would be Kobe, one of his numbers, because of the circumstances,
with a death. I think that kind of catapulted a little.
And not one person would say a word about it.
No, they wouldn't.
Not one person would say a word about it.
Yeah, I would do number 8.
I think I'd like that. I'd like number 8.
I think if you're gonna do it, just do both of them.
That's true too, because you have a whole generation of people that definitely have weight in this conversation.
Yeah.
We're getting old.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't care about number 8.
Right. Like, oh, he wore number 8? Didn't know that.
Number 8 in high school?
Right. Before we get to the association, Carson Wentz, we're hearing that Carson Wentz could be traded within like the hour. It feels like everybody, all the people are like, yo, this can go down like in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Apparently he is not interested in staying on as an Eagle, which thank God for me. And I feel like the fan base is kind of split. I feel like there's I know a lot of Eagles fans who are like, peace, like don't let the door kick you in the ass. I feel like some people are upset about it.
Listen, Eagles fans, Jimmy Garoppolo was in the I'm a Niners fan. Jimmy Garoppolo was in the Super Bowl last season. I was ready 3/4 of the way through the season to say goodbye. So don't hold on. Don't hold on. Just be ready to move on.
I'm with it. And I also, because
don't send Carson here, please.
Listen. Well, y'all don't really have like the assets. Like, I wouldn't be down for a trade unless, who y'all gonna give us? You know what I mean? Like,
we have a ton. What are you the Niners? We have a ton of assets.
Like what?
We have a stacked defense and we have weapons of offense.
We need wide receiver help and secondary help.
Yeah, well, that might be the 2 areas that we could use a little help in.
Yeah. So I don't know about that, but I'm happy to see Carson go.
But you take Kittle, and Nick Bosa and a few of the others.
Yeah, but it would have to be Kittle in like a stud wide out, or you know what I mean?
You would take our injury prone defensive end and our injury prone tight end, right? For sure.
No, I'm good. Like, we can pass on that. But where could y'all see Carson going?
The Canadian Football League.
No. They saying that the Colts are in play. The Colts want him. The Niners want him. He might be better than what y'all been dealing with.
I mean, we talked about that. We talked about this the other day with Kirk Cousins, trading Jimmy G for Kirk Cousins. Yeah. It's like that would be trading Kirk Cousins for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
But this would be trading Kirk Cousins for Carson Wentz. I mean, just look at their last 2-3 seasons. It's atrocious.
Yeah.
Give me Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Keep Carson Wentz away from my football team, and I will trade Kirk Cousins for the next 10 seasons.
I can't argue with you there.
They're also they're hiring for an assistant coach the JV football team at the high school up the street. If Carson's looking for like a coaching position,
I feel like somebody is going to end up. I feel like Carson might end up in a good situation. I think if he goes to the Colts, I like that for him. You know what I'm saying? Getting him a fresh start, giving him a quarterback to build around. I just think I saw Jalen Hurts and I'm like, okay, we can build around this kid but we need to give him a fresh start.
I think that's a good look. That's a good look for any team. Joe's going to say that right now. That's a good look for them. I think to build around a guy that just literally destroyed our organization for the last.
Yeah, take him.
Yeah, I think it's a great new start for both of them.
Yeah, they could take him. I'm good. Okay, the first All-Star fan vote returns are in. JT and I voted, and we talked about some of our votes, but here are some of the top vote getters. It's the usual suspects in the Western Conference: LeBron, the Joker, Kawhi,
Andrew Wiggins.
No, he wasn't a top vote getter. LeBron,
your dude, Andrew Wiggins is 10th in the West in votes.
Yeah, that's not.
Let's talk about that.
That's not not anything to write home about.
It's either.
No. The Joker, LeBron, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Paul George, is the top 5 there. In the East, top 5 is KD, Giannis, Joel, Jason Tatum, and Jimmy Butler, which I kind of thought was weird. But I guess not. I feel like it's weird to me that, I guess that was just the front court. Okay. Yeah. Cause I was like, where's Bradley Beal at? Bradley Beal was number 1 for guards in the East behind ahead of Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, and Zach LaVine. And then in the West, Steph Curry, Luka, Dame, Ja Morant, come through Ja Morant, 4th in guards, and Donovan Mitchell was 5th in the guards. I feel like Bradley Beal, I feel like Trae Young is being overlooked. Like, to me, Trae Young should have a lot more votes because he came in 6th amongst the guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely overlooked.
He's definitely overlooked. I mean,
so name those guards again that he's behind.
Bradley Beal is 1, Kyrie is 2, James Harden is 3, Jaylen Brown is 4, Zach LaVine is 5. Zach LaVine.
So even Zach LaVine's ahead of him?
Yeah.
Because that's the only one I'm really mad at. Not that he may not be better than some of those other guys, but brand awareness wise, like awareness of Trae Young wise.
I think also this season,
I think he's still got to build up. Same with Luka. He's just a season or 2 away from building to be that perennial starter. Yeah. But they just need a little more playoff. Well, shit. The Hawks need some playoffs, and Luka needs some more playoffs. Which right now, you know what I mean? Like they just need a little more.
I think Trae is just having a better season, especially as a leader of his team, than Zach LaVine. Jaylen Brown is playing well, great as well, but Jaylen Brown is not the best player on his team. And then Kyrie, people, Kyrie's in and out. He's in the strip club. He's at a birthday party for his sister. James Harden is another one who he's been playing well, but I feel like Trae's been consistent. He hasn't really been in a bunch of drama. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's the thing. But that's the thing. This is a popularity contest. This is
right,
prom.
Right.
This is.
I think that's my issue with it.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's why.
Yeah. What'd you say?
That's why
Joe?
Some guys get in.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Is those are all household names still, and they just got a couple more playoffs to go. Because obviously Trae is doing great, but Luka, I mean, the Mavericks aren't too sweet. Right?
They're not. They aren't.
Don't even want to tweet about Luka right now.
They aren't. That's why I voted for. Luka came in 2nd behind Steph Curry and ahead of Damian Lillard, but I voted for Dame. To be. I thought Dame should be. Steph and Dame should be maybe 1 and 2. To me. Luka is doing great as an individual, but
his numbers are stupid. Luka's numbers are stupid, right?
Yeah,
now.
but the Mavericks aren't doing that great.
Yeah.
But Dame is also, why is Dame always overlooked? Like, they're gonna drive Dame to drink.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just a matter of it's that brand awareness. Like he's known, but like he just hasn't quite gotten over the hump. You know what I mean? As far as winning, but his play on the court's ridiculous. I mean, he's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Is that what you mean? What do you mean by brand awareness? Like when you say,
I just mean when you talk about a popularity contest, Steph Curry. Well, I mean, let's not talk Steph because he's having a phenomenal year, but let's talk Kyrie. There's a good one because he's having a great year. He's scoring. He's been in and out. He's not doing anything we haven't seen him do before. He isn't carrying a team on his back on a nightly basis, none of that stuff. But he's won championships. He's been paired with LeBron. Now he's just got more awareness of people that know about him, the bigger shoe brand. You know what I mean? Like he's got all of that. When you have that, you've just got that status where until you aren't, you're going to be that dude that's a starter or right there. And then these Trae Youngs and the Lukas and the Zions and the Jaws, they're on their way up, and then they're going to be that guy. So that's what I mean by brand awareness.
Okay.
I think another extremely asinine result of this early vote totals is Brandon Ingram 9 with Christian Wood above him and Andrew Wiggins above him. Like what's happening? Like what is happening?
Same thing. And the winning, because I picked them to be comfortably in the playoffs this year. They're getting hot now, but they haven't been winning enough. He is, dude. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Brandon Ingram right now, anyone who's not watching the Pelicans, I've watched every one of their games this year. Go watch the Pelicans because that dude is unstoppable. He's got a little ways to go, but he's Kevin Durant light right now, and he's
clearly the best player on that team. But they have people. Christian Woods came in from the Rockets with more votes than him, and the Rockets are only one game above the Pelicans. The Rockets are 11-12. And so they're not even, they're not even 500. So I feel like, but also
I feel like part of it too is he's got to split votes with Zion because the Pelicans fans and fans in that region are going to split. So they're both going to get a little bit less. Christian's got Oladipo on there. I don't know.
I don't know.
Christian's having a great season though. He's out.
No shade.
He's also out, so he's not going to be in the All-Star game. But he is having a great year.
I don't think that because I don't think it's going to end. I mean, I don't think even if he was in, I think that sometimes when we get closer to the All-Star game, the votes kind of correct themselves.
They shift.
So I think it will not stay like this. Like Carmelo Anthony is going to come up, Brandon Ingram's going to come up, but Andrew Wiggins is going to go down.
Isn't it also though that only the starters are voted on by the fans? Everything else is the coaches, right? So that's going to change everything because they're gonna give love to the guys that really deserve it.
Yeah. Steph Curry had another historic night. The question is he should he be considered the greatest influence on the game without the ball in his hands of all time?
So this has been a conversation lately, and we know what he does with the ball in his hands. But the crazy thing is he's the greatest shooter of all time, which until him was pretty much always reserved for guys that were spot up shooters to guys that ran all over the place, right? Reggie Miller was the greatest. Ray Allen was the greatest. They were known for just gassing out guys by moving until they got open, right? Mm-hmm. And so pairing what he does off the ball, which I was watching video the other day, and I've never seen anything like, and some of this stuff, even as a Warriors fan, same thing with Draymond Green, what he brings to the team. I just was kind of blind to it because I was just watching the show. You know what I mean? I'm just watching Clay and Steph and the three. It's just insanity, right? And then they have Durant. I mean, you almost forget Draymond's even on the court with all the greatness going on. But in the same way, Draymond brings so much more to the court than I thought, even aside from his leadership and all that. Watch this dude. First of all, he's running like 24 miles or something stupid every game.
I looked that up a couple weeks ago when we were talking about him.
So now on a team that really doesn't have other shooters, he's deadly with the ball in his hands. He's deadly setting up other guys. And now when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, the reason Oubre is able to go for 40 the other night, Wiggins is having his best year as a pro. And you name the other guy that on any given night has a big game. It's because he's running all over the place, and everyone on the court's got to account for Steph Curry. Right? Yeah. There's video in the last 10 games, multiple videos, Joe, of teammates running into each other trying to guard Steph Curry. Yeah. I've never seen anything like this.
He's like the Energizer Bunny. He's just doing
he never
this
stops. His conditioning is just insane. But anyway.
And him run, like I've seen this dude literally run out of bounds. He is running everywhere. And I was just talking about this with my buddies. It's like you even have to respect this man's hezzy. Like when he has no intention to shoot, but it's like if you're a smart basketball player, don't give this man a free look. And he will run up to the ball. He has no intention to shoot. He'll just look at the rim, and motherfuckers are in the air.
You gotta be like, whoa,
in the air, and then he passes and keeps running around like that.
It's crazy.
He's one of those. We're in a new generation of shooters. Because we talked about this a little bit last week about the evolution of the NBA players and them being better than the generation before, just because they're just more talented, right? And we talked about we're in a generation now where there's certain guys in the NBA, the minute they get to half court, you have to seriously stick them. Like you have to have your hands up. Steph Curry is one. Damian Lillard is one. LeBron James is turning into one. Logo LeBron comes out every 2-3 games where he just steps over half court and he's hitting like a couple of those shots in a game. And James Harden is another one where it's like you seriously have to be like ready to guard the three while they're at the logo. You know what I mean?
And Trey's been pulling up from there too.
Trey is definitely one.
Trey.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's Yeah, it's crazy to see because as a guy who was a short basketball player and I was a really good shooter, but there's no way I was getting the shot. Once guys knew that I could shoot, there was no way I could get the shot off unless I could literally catch the ball and be shooting the ball before I even caught it, basically. Like you're catching already in your motion. This dude, with these guys chasing him all over the court, and I've guarded guys like this too, where you're so on him, you're like, there's no way if he catches the ball that he can get this off. This dude is catching this like this with 2-3 guys on him at a time and throwing it from here.
Yeah.
But like in a millisecond and then hitting it nothing but net going. It's just it's insane.
The thing is,
and then doing horrible dances after he hits it.
Yeah. The thing is, yeah. Oh, I hate it. I can't stand it.
Steph, what are you doing?
I can't stand it. The thing is, there was, and it kind of goes unnoticed. But as far as off the ball, off the ball play and off the ball tactics, there was a Steph Curry for Steph Curry.
Who? How dare you?
His name was Reggie Miller.
Oh, Reggie Miller's phenomenal.
Reggie Miller was Steph. He was running around and running 30 miles a game.
Oh yeah,
off the ball, off of screens. He was. That's balance. Where.
Rotating and because he was never planting before a lot of those shots.
Never. Yeah. He almost never dribbled the ball.
Yeah, he was not much of a create off the dribble guy. Like he scored a lot of those buckets just running and then pulling it.
Yeah. I think Steph owes a lot of that to Reggie Miller because he had to, study that and get that from somewhere. To me,
yeah. I mean, Reggie brought it to another level.
Yeah,
he brought it to another level.
Yeah. So the All-Star game. Say it again, Joe.
Don't count on Larry Bird. He was definitely on
that. Yeah, Larry too.
He was on that too, like way ahead of his time. Like,
yeah.
Go back and look at his highlights for real. And like how many times he was shooting from behind the backboard, like it was nothing. Like just somebody that knows where the rim is constantly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Larry Bird. Since I'll tell you what did it. LeBron becoming first before he became arguably the greatest player of all time, when he became the greatest small forward of all time, because no one was even close to Larry Bird.
Yeah.
It was like you had guys like Dominique Wilkins, Scottie Pippen, phenomenal small forwards that weren't even in his stratosphere. But then LeBron's up there. So, Larry Bird's kind of getting tucked under. But, man, Larry Bird was incredible just as a basketball player. Yeah. Incredible. Nothing he couldn't do.
100%. Last but not least, they confirmed the All-Star game will happen, will go on. I didn't know that the All-Star game, that they told the players that they weren't going to have an All-Star game. So LeBron came out, he was upset in his press conference about the All-Star game. He basically said, I'm not with it. I'm not excited about it. I'll show up because they're having it, but this is bullshit. And it took me a little bit off guard because I was like, whoa, he sounds like he's a little perturbed about this. And I didn't see that coming. And then you had a couple players come out and kind of back him. So Giannis also said, a quote from Giannis says, we all got to follow the big dog, talking about LeBron. Says he has zero energy for the All-Star game. I'm the same way. I don't care. I want to see my family. Kawhi Leonard said it is what it is at this point. We all know why we're playing it. There's money on the line, just putting money over health right now. So it sounds like a lot of the big stars in the game are also not really in favor of having the All-Star game. What's your take on that? Do you agree with them, or are you more on the side of just like, let's just get this over it and play it?
I mean, you got a lot of people looking at the Super Bowl the same way. I think, obviously this sounds like it's coming from frustration because a lot of these guys are making hella money anyway. But when you have people having to leave the game because of health guidelines, and then you don't let people swap jerseys and this and that. And then, but we need this All-Star game. Like it just, obviously for them, they just sound fed up, rightfully so.
Right.
Yeah. The NBA is where athletes more than any other sport, it seems like are not allowed, but where they've been given the biggest voice, and Adam Silver has encouraged them having that voice. And I totally get the frustration because after the season they had to go through last year where everyone who came back had to be in the bubble. That was very difficult. And then you come back this year and all these issues, you've already had issues with games getting canceled, right? All these issues with games getting canceled and the standings are all fucked up when you look at them because of these games that get canceled or players missing games, but they're still playing the games, even though the team only has 6 guys to put to roster out on the floor, right?
Right.
I get the frustration, but at the same time, they are running a business and they lost a ton of money last season, like all businesses did and all sports organizations did. So I guess they're just like, look, we got to do this. People are going to be watching it. No one cares about the Pro Bowl. No one really cares about the MLB All-Star Game, but people care about the NBA All-Star Game. Yeah. I wouldn't feel any type of way either way, but I guess I get both sides on it. I
get both sides on it. I was in favor of the All-Star Game earlier in the season. There wasn't really a plan for the All-Star Game, and it sounded to me from the outside looking in like it was a possibility, like they were mulling it over. And so when I heard about that, I was like, well, yeah, let's do it. Why not? Like you don't have to do all because at the end of the day, All-Star Weekend is literally just 2 events. All the rest of the stuff is just extra fat that we really don't need. Like, you know what I mean? The celebrity game is just like whatever. The dunk contest is also now like whatever. It hasn't really been that. The dunk contest that stands out to me is Zach LaVine and whatchamacallit one. And that's the first one that I thought was amazing in like a long time.
Yeah. That's
outside of that, it's just been like, I could take it or leave it. So it's really just the All-Star Game. So I was like, okay, you don't need an All-Star Weekend. Just take the players somewhere, have a little bubble, I guess, so to speak, and then do the All-Star Game. I didn't know that the players were told definitely no All-Star Game this year. And so I would be pissed if some of these guys probably have made plans with their families. They set up a vacation home somewhere or whatever, thinking that I'm going to get this time off. I'm going to go, spend some time with my family, especially with a shortened season, and especially for the playoff teams with a short off season. So I understand the frustration because LeBron brought that up. He was like, we basically had a month turnaround, maybe 2 months turnaround before we started playing games again. And it sounds like part of the negotiations for this season was you guys are going to have All-Star break. No All-Star weekend, anything. We'll select people to All-Star teams, but we won't do anything. And so for them to throw this in at the last minute, I get why they're upset about it. So I get it. Yeah. I want to see an All-Star game personally, just because I'm a basketball junkie. But I get why they're upset. And I get that the NBA is a money grab for the NBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not really.
They simply are trying to process this pandemic time at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, the upper guys are letting them know, hey, the rest of the world needs y'all to stay at work so they can kind of feel sane.
Yeah.
So, they might even feel that responsibility on their backs. Like it's almost up.
Right.
Yeah, I personally, it'll make me feel warm and fuzzy inside to see Aaron Gordon jump over a school bus and dunk the basketball.
Yeah, if I see another motherfucker jump over a car or a bike or a midget or a short guy or Muggsy Bogues or Nate Robinson, like I'm over it.
Wait. What if Zion Williamson dunked Muggsy Bogues?
Okay,
that could get interesting.
Into the hoop. He just rolls him up into a ball in his huge, big, manly Zion hands, and he dunks Muggsy Bogues into a regular-sized basketball hoop.
That could get interesting.
That would be fucking dope.
Y'all got to do something because I'm tired of the same dunks. The same. I don't want to see Dwight Howard put on a cape. I'm just like, I'm over it. Like, do something else. I'm just over it. Let's get out of here on this. The Knicks make a trade for Derrick Rose, which is news, but not really news because the Knicks are not.
It's a nice little move. It's a cute move.
Yeah, it's cute. I'm happy for Derrick Rose just to be in New York. And that's it. That's all that is. Cool. Russell Wilson is apparently upset with the Seattle Seahawks organization, and it sounds like he wants out. There's rumblings of a trade happening and him being in trade talks. So
49ers would be a great squad.
I don't think he leave though. I think he just wants the same kind of respect that other quarterbacks get when they ask for pieces. Because they could be fine. Their O-line is trash. The man has no time.
Yeah.
And that's like telling Tom Brady, hey, turn into the best scrambler in the world.
Right. Right. So, I think he wants this. I think he just wants the same. He's seeing these other quarterbacks and other organizations going all in for their guy. And I feel like he sees his prime wasting away. He looks at what Tampa did. Tampa went for it. He's looking at these other teams that are just going for it. And he feels like I need some help because we're not going to get another Legion of Boom. You know what I mean? And so I feel like he feels like his prime is wasting away, which low key it is.
Yeah, he could end up being the next. He could end up being the next Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
What was the guy? Who is it? Who's getting traded from the Texans? I'm so sorry.
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, did you hear what his teammate said? Like at the end of the game, he straight up said, "I'm sorry, like, we wasted one of your."
Yeah, it was it. JJ Watt said we're wasting your prime. That's real, especially when you see now that the NFL has for a long time. The NBA has been the player league, right? And the NFL has been more of the owners are carrying the cachets, the organizations, and it's kind of a shift. I don't think we've seen so many demands, trade demands, and quarterbacks saying, "Let me out of here." Like, I'm out. Matt Stafford's like, "I'm out." Deshaun Watson's like, "I'm out." Carson Wentz is like, "I'm out." We haven't seen that in the NFL. And so we're seeing it now, and I think that it's leaning more towards the player empowerment vibe, and Russell Wilson is like, I want some of that too. Like, I want to control my destiny too, you know.
I would like to personally extend heartfelt invitations to multiple guys: Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, even Aaron Rodgers, Bay Area guy. I'd like to extend an invitation.
These guys are not coming.
To all of them. I'm extending invitations to all of them, and I just would like to say that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and this 49ers organization and the 49ers fan base, the 49er faithful, as we're called, would welcome you with open arms, and we respect the hell out of our quarterbacks, and we give you pieces, and we give you everything you need. We'll even give you like fan massage after the game. We'll give you personal fan massage. Recovery massage.
I don't know if that's I think that's against the COVID guidelines for
the
Bay Area.
You listen to me. We have our own guidelines. We take care of our quarterbacks. All right.
We have our own guy.
You come over here. You throw to George Kittle. You have Mostert, who only plays 3 games a year, but when he does, he runs for like 500 yards per game.
That's true.
And we have an offensive line and a defense.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to see what happens with their quarterback position, but I don't think any of those guys are coming. So
49ers.
Last but not least, have you guys heard of this Gorilla Glue girl?
Yes.
I just saw it today.
I've been keeping up with that story.
So apparently this woman, in efforts to do her hair, decided to slick down her hair with Gorilla Glue. I don't know where she got this idea, who told her to do it, what YouTube influencer was like, yeah, girl, put this glue in your hair and your edges is going to be late. Like, I'm not really sure where she got it from, but apparently this has been going on for weeks.
That wasn't a Zarzar Galore tactic?
No,
like, hey, listen, this is what you do.
No, she's not telling people to put glue in her hair.
This girl put it all in her hair, though.
Yes, it's
like
all over her.
All in her hair.
It's all over her hair. And it's been that way for like a month.
Yeah, she said she's washed her hair 15 times.
Oh my God.
So what they're gonna have to do is they just keep putting this solution in her hair. They gotta wait for it to grow up, because if they cut that, they're gonna pretty much scalp her by accident.
Oh my
God. So they gotta wait for it to grow up, which is gonna be painful in itself. And then as soon as they can see it's growing a little bit, they're gonna cut off the hard part. And her hair is gonna be about as long as the side part of your beard, Joe.
Oh my. This is awkward. And the thing is, she's getting way more sympathy on the internet than I thought. I thought people would be tearing this lady apart.
Trash her.
And everybody's like waiting by the phone. Because I think at the beginning of the weekend, the word was she's at the hospital. And if you look on Twitter and Facebook and the gram, everybody's like, I'm just waiting by the phone to make sure that she's okay. Like, now she's gotten so much sympathy. Her followers, low-key, she's winning. Okay. Her followers is up. She's everywhere.
She can mess around and get a nice little endorsement.
She
endorsement. You can get a Gorilla Glue endorsement, like her and her husband, like doing work in the house, be like, use Gorilla Glue, on the door frame, not on your head, and then smile with a thumbs up. So all sorts of shit. Wait, was she a meme though at all, or did they skip the meme thing?
No,
they skipped the meme thing. Actually.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's surprising.
She's actually about to lawyer up, so that
she's suing them.
That
Gorilla Glue,
dude. That's gonna be the settle. That's gonna be the settlement.
She's suing them. There's no way that they settle with somebody who put Gorilla Glue. That's like somebody drinking a can of bleach and then suing Clorox.
What the fuck do you think's gonna happen?
That judge is gonna throw that thing out so fast. It's not gonna happen.
Dude, I'm gonna jump in front of a fucking Ford F-150 and then I'm gonna sue Ford because it hit me way harder than I expected.
Yeah, like what?
That is dark.
Listen, When you said it's Ford tough, I didn't know it was this tough. All right, you need to be more specific about how fucking tough your trucks are.
And that's gonna be her case. Like I knew that it would hold because they say it's Gorilla Glue. I just didn't know that it would hold for a month.
Y'all said it would hold strong. Y'all said that.
God bless the Gorilla Glue girl.
I hope they just throw like, look, we're gonna give you $10,000 and let's just all be happy. Let's just all be happy.
I would be pissed if that happened.
God bless the nurses that were trying to clean her head and that had to hold back their laughs because they knew.
Yeah, because I'd have been crying. I'd have been no good. I would have been no good in that ER room.
They were cracking up every time they left that room.
I'd have gave her some anesthesia and just started taking selfies with her. Like, okay, the Graham is not gonna believe this. Joe Cleveland, thank you so much for joining the show today. Please do us a favor and tell the people where they can follow and support anything that you got coming up next.
Come on, it's just Instagram right now, jcleave92.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. Until we have more products put out, but trust me, look out for it. Muggs is finishing their music, working with different people. But definitely just follow me there and keep up with me there, and let's see what happens this spring, summer. Trust.
Dope. Stay tuned for that. I'm at Joe Connor 33 on everything. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube page and turn your notifications on so you know when we're dropping a video. Continue to share and comment.
Subscribe.
Go to wherever you're listening to your podcast. Make sure you hit the follow button. I know some people might listen regularly, but make sure you're also following because that stuff's help us. My fiance and I have a YouTube page where we are reviewing some shows we're doing Married at First Sight right now. So go to Joe and Czar on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe on that. And we're going to be talking about the Malcolm and Marie movie next. Which has kind of created quite a buzz, but we're gonna review that and we're gonna talk about that next. So make sure that you look out for that and go subscribe for us. Also, hit up Splice. My Splice pack is Philly Lo-Fi pack on Splice. It's still out there. Thank you to all the people who've been supporting it and sharing and let me know that they like it. And if you don't like it, let me know that too, because we're gonna have some more stuff coming.
Yeah, at JT Harker on everything, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, Bumble. All that stuff. Super single, super bored. I need things to do.
Yeah.
Just all of it. I'm mostly active on Hinge, so just go on there, hit that heart button, and
your OnlyFans. Don't forget to plug your OnlyFans.
OnlyFans and fans only. I don't know the difference between the two, but they're two different things. I learned the other day.
OnlyFans and OnlyMans. That's your other one.
Pornhub account at JT Harker. All that stuff. So I'm just just go get at me. Get at me.
Get at them. This has been another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. Until next time, be safe and be great. Peace.